This is my project, unlocking robotic potential through modern organ segmentation. So yeah, each year, 15 million Americans go through some form of surgery, but these surgeries can have lasting scars through uh, painful like scarring from larger incisions done by a human surgeon, limited range of motion that a human surgeon can have when doing a surgery, and there's just a high overall cost. And by 2025, these expenses are projected to average $40 million annually. But that's where robotic assistance and automation comes in. It has shown significant potential in changing the medical industry as it can ensure consistent precision when making a cut, and it also enables a reliant method of healthcare. And the first step, which I deal with, is organ segmentation, specifically binary semantic segmentation, where you differentiate between two classes, the organ and the background. Um, so I employed two models here. The main model I'm testing here is the Sigformer, which is a transformer. Um, and transformers have not been used very much in this field of like semantic segmentation. It has mainly been used in NLP. But to give some more information, I have I used three different units with various backbones to get a real like good understanding of the comparison between the transformer and the unit. But I also had a unit without a backbone, which we modified by changing the layers. Um, and yeah, units are characterized by a U-shaped structure with encoder and decoder paths. So encoders are like a magnifying glass that zooms in, while decoders are the like zooms out and takes like the overall grasp of the picture. Um, and units are used in a variety of biomedical tasks, such as MRI reconstruction or monitoring chronic wounds. Um, and yeah, it has three layers. It has three layers. It has a convolutional, pooling, and fully connected layer. And our goal for this research project was to figure out like the transformers usage and limitations as it is new in this specific field of AI. Um, and yeah, we used the Sigformer. And what's specific about transformer is that um, it has two important features. It has a self-attention mechanism and parallel processing. The self-attention assigns different weights of importance to various features in an image, and it's also known as long-range dependencies. So this way, the model focuses on more like important parts, allowing to capture relationships much more efficiently without starting overfitting. And the second feature, parallel processing, allows the model to work on various pieces of information while in different parts of the image to speed up the process much faster, significantly. This is why a transformer can be, as it is, like it's more complex, but it can be faster if used right. Um, and yeah, this just shows the sizes and the number of layers that uh, our models had. So yeah, you can see here the Sigformer had the largest size, 180 megabytes, and it also had the greatest number of parameters. It On the other hand, the custom unit had the lowest number because we reduced the number of layers like by tenfold, and um, yeah, these the units we had the VGG 16 and VGG 19, which have been like renowned for um, efficient backbones. We placed them alongside this category and a ResNet 50. So our data set, we we wanted to find a data set that had CT scans available for us. But the problem with this was that there w wasn't much of the data we were looking for online, but we did come across one data set. However, the only problem was that it was a 3D volumetric set of CT scans, but which consisted of six classes: liver, lung, bladder, kidney, bone, and brain. Um, and to convert these 3D volumetric scans into 2D is that because that was like what we were looking for. We condensed the original scans from 512 by 512 with varying depths ranging from 74 to 987, all the way down to slices of 285 by 277. We also rotated the view from the bottom view to the front view, um, as there was a better visibility of organs available. So this would just make the task like much more accurate. Um, and yeah, there were 512 slices per volume, creating a total of 71,680 slices as our data set. And we split this into uh, training and testing, 75 to 25, but we maintained the volumetric groups together in one folder. So we didn't split the slices apart, like one slice going to another folder, one slice in that folder. We took put we put the entire volume into one folder. And this would greatly increase the accuracy at the end. And we also had a naming convention for each splice that would just make everything much more easier on our end. Um, and our performance metrics. So here we use three different metrics. First, we have precision. This is the accuracy of true predictions relative to the entire set of outcomes. In other words, it represents the proportion of events the model correctly predicted to be positive. So to guarantee that non-organ regions are excluded from the segmentation, precision is essential. And recall is the measure of the percentage of actual positive results that the model uh, accurately predicts. And on the other hand, IOU score is the overlap between the predicted regions and the ground truth, which is the actual truth. And this is the most reliable metric used in binary segmentation, seen through many different research projects. Um, yeah. And our results. In the end, our transformer did not do as we expected it to do. However, um, our first we tested this by we found low scores of 0.56, 0.33, and 0.26. And in addition, the UNet models we expected would also do somewhat good. However, they however, they also had trouble adjusting to this task, as seen through um, low scores in the recall and IOU score. However, the custom unit did do the best, and the reason for these the higher complex models performing low could have been the data, or it just could have been that the um, simple model did work better with a simple task, such as binary segmentation, and that was probably why we got such high scores from a lower model. On the graph to the right shows the amount of epochs on average the models ran for before converging, meaning that um, the accuracies were just not improving. So here you can see around like epoch 9, epoch 10, it starts to converge. That was when we usually stop um, the testing and training times, as anything beyond that would just be useless and no point in wasting resources. Okay, the environment and software we used, we actually, we used Google Colab Pro, this software actually helped us a lot as it gave us access to efficient GPUs such as A100 and NVIDIA for faster runtimes. With higher memory settings, we had access to 25.5 gigabytes of RAM. And for the first half of the study, as uh, we have seen, we we dealt with the operations with the data set, and the PyTorch framework was best used for this, as it outperformed Keras and TensorFlow in terms of handling huge data sets and overall flexibility. Um, PyTorch, however, demonstrated less incompatibility with debugging, displaying images, and handling complex models. So this is why for the second half of the task, we used Keras and TensorFlow, as it gave us better data and better visualization. Um, and as for our libraries, the simple ITK library was used to extract each slice, giving us the conversion from 3D to 2D, and just different characteristics from like various volumes, while the matplotlib visualized the predicted mass that we used to compare to the ground truth. The ground truth is the actual truth, and the shuttle library was used to relocate the extracted images into their respective training and testing folders. So now this data set is publicly online. It's called CT.org 2D. It's the 2D version of the previous data set. So I published it online so future like researchers like me wouldn't have the difficulty of trying to make their own data, as it's a long and tedious job. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you for your presentation, Ansh. It seemed like a really interesting project, and the results you got with the custom UNet model looked really impressive. Uh, so yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was great work.
yeah,
Um,
thank you.
I'm far from an expert on machine learning, so maybe you'll have to forgive me if this question sort of betrays me in that regard. But I was curious if you could say a little bit more about why a more complex model or architecture would produce less accurate results.
Yeah. So I actually attributed the low results from the higher complex models to overfitting. Um this is because like the model is usually looking for like higher more like complex features, but really it's just a simple grasping like one feature, one or two features. That's all it is. But the model doesn't know this, so it usually like overfits,
Mhm,
whereas a simpler model needs less and just gets the job done without wasting extra resources.
mhm. Do you think the problem of overfitting would be, I guess, less severe if you had a larger data set to train with, or um, would
Yeah,
that?
if my data set, I don't know about the size, but if my data set was had in some of the slices there were just blank images. This is because it was like through the in a volume there's different depths. So in the front and the back there's like blank splices.
Mhm,
So it could have probably overfitted because of that.
mhm,
But yeah, if I had more uh images displaying organs, it would definitely do a better job and overfit less.
mhm. Yeah, and I think it's also great that you've made your data set public. I feel like it's one of the really
Yeah.
cool things that's, happening now, that there's so much public data available for people to use to build models. So yeah,
Mhm.
seems like great work, and I really enjoyed listening to your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.